spewing love. We're spewing the laws of God. Oh, matter of fact, they asked about the women. Here they go. Here they go. Shalom, sisters. On live, they asked where the women at.
Right here.
One more time, they asked where the women at. I pray that answered your questions.
Here we go. IUIC. Here we go. I can't hear you. Let the people know I left the streets.
They still cheering. I can hear them all the way over there.
Just does a bad job at portraying Black history, African history, and slave trade history. This newest movie that came out, The Woman King, which is doing well in the box office and is going to obviously be another Black idolatry movie, is false. The main character is fictional. The movie downplays their huge role in the slave trade. In fact, it was their main source of riches, the Dahomey tribe. They even fabricated a scene where the Woman King was saying that they should stop using slavery as their main source of income and go to palm oil. Totally made up. Not only were they heavily involved in the slave trade, they also killed slaves in memory of their kings, like this one where they killed 800 slaves when King Gezo died. And when the British outlawed the transatlantic slave trade, they continued to work with the Portuguese and the Spanish to enslave other Africans. Don't get your history from Hollywood.
That's right.
She said to enslave other Africans. They were enslaving the children of Israel.
Right.
What you're looking at is majority of the Dahomey tribe are the Hamitic tribes that enslaved us and sold us to the Grecians, according to Joel chapter 3. That's so because they have the same complexion,
right?
We automatically gravitate to it because we want an image. We want something great. We always have a yearning. And that's why a lot of us come into this truth. You didn't know how great you were until you heard it out of the words mouth of God.
That's right.
Wait a minute. We not just some niggas and stuff? Okay. This is what I want to cleave to, because this is God's words. They give us these false images, not knowing we're about to make Amalek, of course, who made the movie.
Three white women.
Make them rich off of something that has nothing to do with us. That's our slave catchers. We about to glorify the slave catchers?
Yep.
Well, guess what?
Makes sense, not Gaga.
I'm in tune with the thugs. Will the Crips hate the moon when it turns into blood? A lot of questions I'm asking. Will white supremacists hate the sun when it blackens? I'm talking about an eclipse. In the book of Revelations, explaining to my defense, I beheld the dragon rising up out the sea with a chopper in his hand, firing after me, but I was dreaming. Woke up sweating and screaming, ejaculated me doing samples of my semen. Told me that I was from a world that's unknown where the humans came wrong. But if you enter, you'll know before they spell with words they used to spell with numbers. 3 score sixes, 777s, 8 is infinity. This is a different energy. I swallow my pride. It's all about dignity. Teaching my tribe, all about its history. I believe in vibes. It's all about chemistry. Before I die, take a picture so you remember me. I was born with this bravery. I'm not afraid to die. Death should be afraid of me. And I don't need a feature on this beat. By myself, I'm coming hard like I'm beating on my meat. Bah!
If y'all want to quit the game, y'all can quit the game. Right? That's just like right now. We want to quit this matrix at any moment we make it crumble. The moment we walk off their jobs, the matrix crumbles. No more economic system. The moment we start fearing their law enforcement, the law enforcement lose all their power. It's more of us than them. You get what I'm saying? So we are participating in the game. Meanwhile, any moment we can all just say, you know what, man, we quit this shit. We not doing this no more. We finna live in peace. We gonna do what we want to do. We don't care what y'all saying. It's more of us than y'all. Right? But then what they do? They dangle money in front of you. See what I'm saying? And you be like, it's like Squid Games. You're like, damn, okay, well, we can all quit. But damn, what if I win that money in that bowl up there? You're not thinking like in the red light, green light game, you just seen a bunch of people get killed. Everybody was scared. Now they dangle and everybody want to quit. Everybody was begging they'll find a different way to pay the debt back. But as soon as, goddamn it, they dangle money in front of you, now you willing to risk your life again. You just want to quit the game. And that's how they get us to keep playing the game, because motherfuckers can't come together just like, look, man, fuck this. We done with this game of you lying to us, abusing our people, making us go to work and draining us of energy. You know what I'm saying? Taking precious moments from us that we could be spending with our families, spending with ourselves. We quit. Especially if y'all can take our jobs at any given time, we quit, we falling back. Nigga, you think they gonna come around and put everybody out? That's a game. That's a game. Nigga, now if we all quit the job force, they gonna try to be like, what can we do to help y'all? It's no more, they can't make no money. And they ain't got enough law enforcement or manpower to put every motherfucker out on the planet. Do you really believe they can do that? No, they can't. They do that with our participation, just like the police. They come deep with 1 million people, with 1 million guns and vests, and you be fearing them. You can say fuck them guns and the vests. We get 1 million deep. And we don't fear y'all no more. We not listening to y'all no more. How about we don't let y'all put no handcuffs on us? Then your game ends. Because guess what? When the police get off work at 9 o'clock, 5 o'clock, the game ends anyway for them too. Now they regular civilians again. Trying to blend in amongst us. Now don't blend in amongst us, motherfucker. You would have gave a nigga a ticket 2 hours ago. Now you want to walk around Walmart act like we cool. You speaking this shit. See what I'm saying? It's all a game. The banking system, all that's a game. We ain't got to go in the grocery store to buy no food from them. What if we never went shopping in their grocery stores ever again? What if you said, fuck that, nigga? We finna go to the woods, nigga. We finna go out here in nature, nigga, and build our own farms, nigga. We don't need to even ask y'all how to do it, because we the ancient ones. We just gonna go out there and do it. We ain't got to ask y'all. We'll ask the planet, and the planet will remind us what to do.
Yay, Noriega apologized for your George Floyd comments. How do you feel about that?
I feel like Black Lives Matter is like a warm water, it's a hot shower, and White Lives Matter is a cold shower. The funny thing about woke culture is like, woke culture is not really woke like that. A lot of times people, they would rather just exist inside of the pain of a lie than deal with the harsh realities of the truth for us to look further. Look at like JFK, how many documentaries there are on what happened there. Like, as a people, we are a sophisticated people that have to look in and be willing to challenge things, not just take what the media has fed us. The interview we had was amazing, and the exact people who sent people in the streets for Black Lives Matter were able to derail the interview and a lot of the ideas just based off the main comment. I'm sorry, I'm distracted by these people honking over here. So with Nori is my brother. He's under a lot of pressure. If you look at the first thing it says, Nori does an interview with Rosenberg. But what's the exact thing I was saying? I said the Jewish media controls so many things. It's not all the Jewish people, but there's specifically Jewish people in media that are in power that try to have, they bought the black voice, but they haven't been able to buy my voice. So instead they blackball me, they threaten people to not interview me, they threaten people to get away from me, they close down my stadiums. Love you too, family, love you too. Yeah. You said thinking, right? Appreciate you. Yeah, they've done all this stuff for years, messing with me, just like poking at me, like calling me out of my name. My name is Ye. Anytime they say Kanye West, I change my name. It's like Cassius Clay to Ali. You respect me as a man, as an American, that my name is Ye, that I have the right to choose what my name is. So when media does that, it's already disrespect. I love rappers. Rappers are artists. But when media calls me a rapper, specifically to not bring up the fact that I'm worth $11 billion, that I'm the richest black man of all time, that I'm a billionaire, that I'm a tycoon, that I'm a visionary. And if I say that, if I say those three things, then they'll say I'm a narcissist, right? But they push you down so much that you got to fight just to say who you are. You know, what I got from the documentary, from the Candace Owens documentary, was I felt like it was a setup. I felt that In the documentary, if you look at it, he told his roommates they want a tall guy like me. They want a tall guy like me. Well, who is they? I'm gonna pose it as a question, as opposed to, you know, giving you some kind of theory that I can't pinpoint. And this idea, these martyrs that we have, it's 14 kids that's dying in Chicago every single day, and they have this Jewish media, black media, trauma culture, trauma economy, the stuff that Charlemagne the God works for, the stuff that Rosenberg works for, the stuff that academics, the guys that academics. You got to understand, all these people that y'all listening to out here, I'm gonna tell y'all, they getting their checks cut. You know, and y'all, I need y'all to really respect what I'm doing, the stuff that I'm doing and I'm saying online, and love the fact, look, I got money, I got my songs, I could go off and just go to, you know, Hawaii and live a nice life. That means that God has called me to sacrifice all of that in order to bring the truth. That's what I'm saying. They don't cut my check. You listen to people that's getting their check cut by Jewish media. George Soros, come and meet with me directly. I told you, you ain't gonna send none of these people that you usually send. Charlemagne, we know all the names. Nori is a good guy. Like he said, he called me this morning, he said, maybe politics is a little bit too much for me. Everybody back up off of Nori. This is like, he was giving a platform, right? Which no one does. There's no free thought anymore. I give you one last bar before I get on this flight. And in order for us to evolve, we have to walk forward. The left leg moving forward is the idea. The right leg moving forward is the actualization. I like the word actualization better than the execution. We need the idea, we need to be realized. We need the idea, we need to be realized. Right now, the thought police have us crawling. We have stopped evolving. We have to fight for free thought, to say how we feel and act upon that. In Jesus' name, amen.
The Ankh is an electromagnetic device. You see it in the hands of the gods. You also see us carrying a scepter, which is a device we use to move stones for pyramids, which we use to harness electromagnetic energy. We also use a Jed, which is the spine of God, to transfer consciousness. It too is an electromagnetic device. The Sa is used for protection. Shinu represents the sun or eternity. Ra is the falcon-headed god. Ra is the one above. Seba is the dimension of freedom. It's the fourth dimension. It's time. Hathor is the mother of God and the spirit of fertility. Horus's eye is the pineal gland. We are the Kemites. We never called ourselves Egyptians. That's a Greek name. Our education protocol is called the Kemetic Mystery System. Scholars from around the world came to Kemet, Timbuktu, the Gold Coast, and other regions nearby to learn about astronomy, botany, pharmacology, geography, chemistry, and most importantly, geometry. But none has ever completed the 20-year education process. You all hail the Greek Pythagoras for his theorem. However, we use that equation almost 2,000 years before his birth. You call Hippocrates the father of medicine. His teacher was a Kemite named Imhotep, who lived thousands of years before him. Our universities and temples were destroyed. Your current civilization is ran off of the incomplete wisdom of the Greeks. Those were our impatient students. The time is now for you to ascend in consciousness to receive the downloads of our technology. Meditation, sacred medicine, and actively seeking the truth is necessary to ascend. Through mathematics, you will exist for all eternity. You will understand that you have always been here and you'll always be here.
Research, because history has shown that other races of men don't give a French toast about children. Let me flip this around and let me play this for you all. Here we go.
What do you do if you get lost?
Find a big black guy.
You find a big black guy, and what do you tell him?
That I lost.
That you're lost?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have to find my home.
Okay.
Oh, do I need to tell you there's a bunch of white people?
Pause. Now, mind you, not only was that a white woman talking to a white child, This is a white man doing an additional cut to the video. Here you go. Damn, now my mouth's acting up.
Really upset about that video. Stitching it, duetting it in the comments. Oh, this is racist. Actually, if you want to be real about it, statistically, based on the data, any child would be safer approaching a strange black man than they would a strange white man. So let's look at some numbers. Convictions of possessing images of children. White people, 86%, while black make up only 4%. I'd say white people damn near cornered the market. Now, when you talk about assault of a child, the numbers are a little bit different, but white people still excel. 42% are white, 18% are black, but I feel these numbers might be skewed.
Pause. You're absolutely right. Those numbers are skewed. They had to do this. Understand that. Those numbers are skewed. That's a lie, even though white people still are at the top. But understand, those numbers are a lie.
For example, Hispanic make up 10% of the abuse. They also make up 10% of the possession of images, so those seem to be pretty close to each other, while these other numbers are way off. Now factor in that black people are 7 times more likely to be wrongfully convicted of a serious crime, including that kind of assault, than white people are. Then think about all of the priests that the Catholic Church hid and protected and moved around, all of the pastors that we've recently found out the Southern Baptists were protecting. Think about all of the well-respected white teachers and coaches and scout leaders over the years.
Not to mention doctors. You remember Simone Gymnastics? The medical doctor for the gymnastic team, drugging them up and fucking finger fucking them and doing all kinds of shit to them. Y'all forgot about that? He was doing all kinds of shit to them. You remember? Huh?
People just didn't believe the children, didn't believe that good man was capable of that. And it's not hard to imagine that these numbers should probably be closer to those. And as long as we're talking fun facts, let's look at this one. They looked at SA convictions from 2006 to 2017, and you know what they found? There was a 1,330.47% increase in sentences of black individuals and a 8.6 decrease in sentences for white individuals. So white people, far more likely to do it, also more likely to receive a lenient sentence for it. So while I'm real sorry if that first video triggered you, statistically speaking, that mom is right. And maybe you should teach your children to do the same thing.
Pause. Now, who just got nominated for Supreme Court judge? She was black. Kanjana, I don't know her last name, Kanjana Carter, whatever her name is. Guess what? Guess how many sex offenders were white that she gave lenient cases to? Lenient, less than the guidelines. She's married to a white man too and have children by a white man, by the way. But she's in the Supreme Court and she was nominated by the number 1 child molester in the presidential in office, which is Joe Biden. Yeah.
Why? Because when white people came to Africa, they came showing themselves as superior to the black people, digging out things that black people taught them. You know, what we don't have in our history books is that the civilization we have in Europe today was brought to us by black people. Even black people don't know that. Even many black people don't know that. They don't know that the Moors, they were West Africans and North Africans and Central Africans that came to Europe and ruled Spain. They brought civilization to us. They showed us how to use soap, how to be clean, how to behave like a decent human being, you know? All these things we didn't know that before the Moors brought civilization to Spain. Did you know that the Moors ruled in Spain for 700 years? Where is that in our history books? It's nowhere to be found. Because why? If you are giving black people that power of having once ruled over white people, wouldn't black people start like kind of questioning, oh, we were once at that point of having such a power in a white man's country over white people, and where are we now? So of course they have to hide that history from you people, because knowing your true history is knowing your true power, and knowing your true power means you will break out from that system of racism as much as you can, because you can't. If white people will not stop racism, black people cannot stop being victims of racism.
How does the United Corporate States illegally steal or hijack the Anasazi inheritance from the future generations, dark-skinned people? First, when the Amerindian female goes to have her child in the United States hospital, she is voluntarily giving her natural inheritance rights transferred to her child to the soil of America. Instead, the right is transferred to the United States, thereby placing the children's life inheritance from America under United States jurisdiction. The United States for collateral issues a birth certificate to the Anasazi female soon after she gives birth in one of their transfer centers. The birth certificate is a contract that transfers the Anasazi soil inheritance rights of indigenous belonging and human rights in America away from the mother and her children to the United States. When a birth certificate is recorded, the earth rights of the mother to the child is released, and the child becomes property of the United States and is placed under United States laws and jurisdiction. Once Amerindian females of America accept the birth certificate from the United States without their understanding of surrendering their life inheritance from the planet, earth rights, an account is made and given a social security number. Once the birth certificate is signed, 45 days later, the Amerindian child loses their natural Amerindian right to live and is registered as dead.
Dalit. Hey. Wow. Zayn. Ket. Tet. Yod. Ka. Lamet. Mim. Noon. Samik. Ain. Pei. Sadi. Kof. Resh. Shin. Ta. Yay! See how he
Yeah. See, I got a praise inside of my body that won't leave me alone, and it's making me shout. I know it's power when speaking his name, so you gon' hear Jesus come out of my mouth. Went through a season where even the enemy tried his best at taking me out. God was giving me all of the strength I needed, so hope wouldn't turn it to doubt. Now I'm alive, living this life with the truth. Jesus had opened my eyes, so now we can rise. They might not like how we move, don't matter, we walk with Christ. I hope you don't mind, might need to give me some room. You talking like everything fine, stop wasting my time. I don't just stick with the rules. If God say it's out of line.
When you think of war, you think about loss of life. When you think about war, you think about loss of comfortability. And black people are comfortable in America. It's easy for you to go to your light switch and turn your light on and the lights come on. It's easy for you to sit down on your toilet, relieve yourself and flush the toilet, and the water comes and takes your waste away. It's easy for us to be able to have those amenities that our enemy supplies to us. So we're very comfortable. War is going to take removing that comfortability and learning how to exist without needing our enemy. And that's not going to be very easy. So I think that the loss of comfortability, the loss of life, because everybody's not going to be able to be a soldier. We're going to need scribes. We're going to need people that tend to our men. We're going to need people that tend to our children. So we're going to need a lot of things that incorporate it. When people think about war, they only think about soldiers, but it takes a lot more to
singing the laws of the Spirit to my daughter.
Your heart, baby. I see the unity that's there for you and me. Can you feel the wisdom in the rhythm all around ya? And are you moving with that godly energy? Do you express all the love inside your heart? I know that justice is always around the way. Are you moving with the will of a God? To let your imagination come out to just play. You gotta speak with all belief inside your soul, so that your vibration always will know that pleasure and the peace is all the same. As long as you just don't let go of my eye. What's your my eye? What's the my eye? What's your my eye, yeah? What's your my eye? What's your my eye, yeah? What's your my eye?
Do you know who this is?
this is Miss Henrietta Lacks. Now, Henrietta Lacks was said to have immortal stem cells. See, she was taken to Johns Hopkins Hospital to be treated for cancer, but y'all know what happens from that. They took her cells without her consent. Now, it says she was being treated for cervical cancer. Now, if we look at the female reproductive system, we can obviously see that the cervix is the lowest part of the uterus. Now look, we know that the mitochondrial Eve gene is the genetic code that is passed down from female to female. See, the mitochondrial Eve gene, known as the mitochondrial Eve, lived between 100,000 and 200,000 years ago in southern Africa. That's all we needed to know. See, the reason HeLa cells were so important is because it was the only human cell line able to reproduce indefinitely. It sounds like a unique genetic code that is passed down from female to female. Not every female has this gene, but it came from southern Africa. So what does this tell you about yourself?
I want to read something to y'all. Let's have a story time. For Earth is a karmic planet, which means that the veil must go down for each person once the soul arrives on the planet. Since the Earth plane is such a difficult place to learn the lessons because of the thickness of the energy surrounding the planet, all souls must undergo the same and equal treatment each time they come into embodiment. There are no exceptions. It is the intensity of the light within each person, the character of our souls, and the choices we make that determine advancement through these tests. Our progress determines how quickly the masters will make their presence known to us in a more direct manner. Hold on, there's more. We originate from the Creator as a spark of light, and to this source we must return. Our incarnations in many areas of the vast universe assist us to grow. These incarnations provide us with a variety of adventures, so we must taste what is offered in all realities, including the material world. Our ultimate goals, however, are to become masters of self and masters of matter, eventually returning to God. We advance when we act responsibly and when we learn service to others. Every deed and action we perform is monitored and recorded in our own Akashic records, the data banks that store all forms of karma occurred on our journeys. There's more. Today, the celestial plane states that the three conditions must be met by the majority of celestial souls to assure that these individuals will be grounded in Earth's curriculum in order to complete their work on the planet. Earth is a school that we were sent to learn lessons. These three conditions are: 1. Most of the souls will be born into families that are either middle or lower economic class. This assures that each individual is raised in an environment that teaches the pain, struggle, and joys of humanity. 2. The soul will embody in families that provide them with a strict religious background representing all faiths on earth, which each begins to mature. When each begins to mature, the individual will find himself or herself turning his or her back on the organizational structure and human-made rules of the religious institutions, but not on the beautiful spiritual truths that make up the foundation of each religion. 3. Each individual will have a crisis to awaken the soul with such an experience. The human ego and even the soul can get too complacent and caught up in the physical illusion of the third dimensional plane. The crisis, however, causes emotional pain and forces the individual to go inward for answers instead of keeping the person's identity wrapped in the Maya that traps the five senses. There are no saviors. Nobody's coming here to help us. We are our own saviors.
There's a shortage of diesel supplies.
Hey there, good morning to you, Stephen, Marissa. You know, that is the case for a majority of the East Coast. And as we have been hearing from our meteorologists all morning long, we are expecting our first long stretch of cold weather this week. Yeah, that's no fun. But the top concern is availability of product. You know, fuels like natural gas, propane, or heating oil, you know, those are low and could struggle to meet demand if temperatures are especially cold or supply chain issues issues make it difficult to deliver to where the fuels are needed. Now, oil suppliers say, years ago when we had a shortage of supply on the East Coast here, where most of the heating oil is used, they would actually be bringing it in from Europe. But now Europe is using it all for their own use because of the gas shutdowns from Russia. And now we don't have that ability to export from or import from Europe over this way. Now, some people we spoke with this morning, they tell me, they'll probably have to find alternative ways to stay warm.
I guess I'll dress a little warmer, wear my sweatshirt in the house and not turn it down too low, but everything's so high. It does make me sad. Like, I just bought a donut. The donut was double the price almost it was last year. It's crazy.
Yeah, so guys, I don't think it's worth trying to save a few bucks by turning on either your oven or unattended space heaters or candles for that matter, but just something that, a message that we want to continue driving home, especially as the temperatures dip low. Back over to you.
All right, thank you very much, Aisha. It brings us to our Fox 5 Insta poll.